If there was ever any proof that Marzgurl and Farrah Fatherless have been in cahoots with each other for several weeks now, what popped up on Tumblr and is now making its rounds on Facebook may be proof of that. Here's what Marzgurl posted on her Tumblr and connected with a Farrah Fatherless video from the latter's TikTok account of seven that lasts 7 minutes and 48 seconds. For those following me because of the Vic Mignogna potentially try to have me murdered long post, yeah, Vic never said that, bitch. You're just making that up just to give yourself more sympathy, and you get none from me. If you're new here, you're gonna definitely gonna want to click that link and read. Here's an important update, especially that applies to anybody who had a harassing experience with it, Vic, of whom I saw many telling stories that they had notes in the notes of the long post. Again, bullshit, since many of the people you talked to lied about it, or any that did don't want to come forward because they don't want you, because they didn't want to come forward anymore, because they didn't know that you would use them and exploit them for your own selfish ends, Kalen. Farrah had been hyping up the fact that she has filed a police report about the incident with the Irving, Texas police. It's real, by the way. While they've given very minimal info, it's possible to locate the report to prove that it's real. Report number 2300170171/00. Offense info only. Offense location 4205 West, 183 NSR, FWWB Irving. Reporting officer Amanda Neeson. Reported July 20th, 2023, 10:06 a.m. Occurrence Sunday, April 9th, 2023, 7 to 10 p.m. Interesting enough, apparently the reporting officer you see in the message may not be the officer working the case. More as Farrah seems to say in other posts online, Vic's sycophant shut followers kept calling her desk and harassing her to the point where she asked to be removed from the case. Yeah. Newsflash, Kaylin. They called the office because they know that Farrah's just someone who wanted to chase some tail, who wanted to chase and get her hands on Vic Schlong and is an obsessive fan. As such, they asked very politely to not to take the case reporter and the officer involved with the case to not take anything that Farrah said seriously. But then again, you have this way of trying to cover up your own depravities and twist the narrative to your advantage and no one else's. It's what I've called you out for the last 4.5 years. Why not take that fucking polygraph test I've dared you to take? Oh, wait, that's right. You think you're above it. Truth is, you're not. Like I've been saying, your stupid little self-indulgent and selfish quest for atonement for the Jew Wario cover-up has led to nothing but havoc on an even bigger community as you've been aiding and abetting in even larger cover-ups. That's it. No more, no less. This has never been about stopping pedophiles. It's never been about standing up for victims. It's never been about Vic. Hell, in the occasions you've gone after me, it's never been about me either. It's been about you and you alone. You made this choice to keep going on this crusade. You could have stopped. You could have chosen to be a better woman. You could have chosen to come clean. But instead, you continue to take shortcuts and fight dirty. You're lucky I don't have a Jotner marble to which I could use the spell to rip your soul out of your body, seal it into the marble, and smash it so you die. You're lucky I don't have that. I'm hesitant to get anybody excited, but Farrah seems very positive after all this time. The police want to get things done from the video and other social media posts. The police want to talk to anybody with more info. Remember, held their own internal investigations, more like a quick fix investigation in 2019. A quick fix you basically instigated, Kalen. And people are now, little by little, seeing that you're nothing but a lying whore who's more hell bent on proving yourself right and basically covering up for bigger criminals in an attempt to wash yourself clean of the crime and you may or may not have had a hand in it. Channel Awesome. Like I said yesterday, road to hell paved with good intentions. You're a prime example of that. But then again, you and I are similar yet different. I've stated before as to why I side with Vic in this fiasco. It's because I didn't want what happened to me under legitimate circumstances, getting blacklisted from cons for behavior that would be considered offensive, shooting my mouth off, asterisk, borderline level stalking, and other crimes that got me blacklisted from several cons throughout the country, even though most of them I've never been to. But at least, and yes, you could say what I'm doing may be somewhat selfish, but at least I'm doing it with a good intent in mind and my heart's in the right place. I want justice for someone who's being framed for crimes he didn't commit. But you, on the other hand, Kalen, you're doing it get to wash yourself clean of your own crimes that you didn't have a hand in, that you didn't know about, but you still took part in the Jew Wario cover up. But as a trade off, you've been aiding, whether you know it or not, and I'm pretty sure in this case you do, you've been aiding and abetting in even larger cover ups of the same crime Justin committed. That's why you got so triggered by that letter that was sent to you last week. When I come on here and talk about this subject, there are one of two ways people see me: a rabid fanboy, or someone who at least comes off as sincere, straightforward, and even when he screws up, he's at least willing to admit when he screws up. When he screws up and causes more damage than help. You, on the other hand, choose to be a gender swap of Nero Caesar. You're burning the anime community to the ground, sawing a fiddle on the balcony, and you don't even give a rat's ass about it. About the city burning around you. And you cast Christians as the scapegoats. And maybe the FBI is involved because there's a lot of dirt in this guy. Look, I just want to be realistic here. I'm just repeating what she's saying. But I don't know how true any of that is. But if there's any truth, I want to help. Yeah, you want to help by basically magnifying it and basically throwing your own name onto this. Again, you're not making this about stopping pedophiles. You're not making this about helping victims. You're making this, or in your view, putting Vic away. It's about you getting a lot of the glory. Regain what little clout you had at Channel Awesome. You've been you're nothing but a bully, Kalen. No more, no less. I mean, I've stated before. I always preferred Yasu Otaku over you before you drove her out. She became so insecure, she became a transgender man. man, in 2015. Even Iron Liz has been willing to testify against you and your bullying mannerisms. And let's not forget your buddy Lewis's little depravities. Let me see if I can find that video. That paints Linkara a bit. I mean, that exposes Linkara. Here it is. Anyway, I mean, were you even aware that your old colleague Lewis was a porn addict? If you weren't, it's because he hit it very well in the same way Justin did. Why don't you go after him while you're at it? She mentions something about Bill, also makes a much shorter and more pointed TikTok video. Click and link. It's very big in any way that came across as around continue. Can be construed as assault, no matter how long ago it was, or in PD wants to know about. You have to file a police report in your local PD or the area where it happened and tell them to tell the Irving PD. Give them the case number 2317 if they're really going to build a case and seriously consider doing something about him. Then at least I can tell you about this. And believe me, I get it. There are a million reasons why a victim would not report. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to share this update. And again, I don't know how long this has really progressed, but there is a police report. We extent that it's not a lie. The police are really, truly involved. Okay, so the police report is legit, but do I really think that the cops are going to act on it? To be perfectly frank, not really. Why? Because many of the people in the community know that this is just basically a way for Kaylin to gloat. She's a braggart bully. And we all know that she's just basically encouraging people to do this to rally another mob. I'm saying this to the police department of Irving, Texas. Do not listen to this clout chaser and her mob of thugs. Because many of the people who have reported about this, they've been lying through their teeth. Mostly because they're woke bandwagoners, political leftists, and self-serving, people-pleasing, low-key clout chasers. That's all I'm going to say about that. And the reason why I don't think many of these victims are going to come forward, they don't like to be pushed into doing something. If they're going to do it, they're going to do it of their own volition and without someone flaunting their credit, taking the credit for them being galvanized to do so. People like Marzgurl give victims a really bad name and rep. And it's the same thing with Farah. Whether they want to admit it or not. And believe me, they do not. But then again, even with a legit police report, if the cops get Vic's side of the story, where he says that she was trying to ask him for sexual favors and he said no, and that caused her to snap, do I think the case would get thrown out the window? I think it would. But then again, Kalen, then again, to Farah, you're the one who got Vic his ironclad back anime contract. Granted, he couldn't make it this year due to a scheduling conflict with Metrotham, and he won't make it to either next year. And you, Onion, are going to die. So, bye bye, you little bastard. As I was saying, I will not surrender the fight. I may lay off it for a while, but I'm not going to quit. And besides, maybe let's move ahead to say 2025 when the Donald gets back in the White House. What's he going to do? Well, I'm pretty sure he'll want to do deep internal investigations on the various woke companies. One of them being Crunchyroll. And when he finds the evidence that would actually vindicate Vic, who's going to look more like a fool? It's not Vic. And it's not me. It's going to be you, Kalen. You and your ilk will look like fools. Well, it's when he's back in office and he uncovers everything about the woke corporations. Because once he's back in power, he's going to do deep investigations into those companies. And that's just not, and that includes the funding cut. After the funding cuts, that he's promised to put woke corporations through. Get woke, go broke indeed. Crunchyroll is bound to go broke in 25. Same thing with Rooster Teeth. ISWVNTFE. Comment, share, comment, like, and subscribe. Goodbye. Good night.